Triad School District cancels all classes because of a social media threat. Tonight, officers arrest a student.
A third employee with the Greensboro Police Department fired and charged with sex crimes. What the city's new chief has to say about the incidents.
And scattered rain continues to fall across the area, and we are not done yet. Still tracking more for Wednesday and for Thursday.
But first at 6, today marks 1 year since the Winston Weaver fertilizer plant went up in flames. A highly volatile fire causing fear and evacuations.
The fire burned 3 days. The entire city was on high alert. Thousands packed up to get out of harm's way.
WFMY News 2's Amber Lake joins us live now. Amber, you talked to firefighters who reflected on that frightening situation 1 year ago.
Well, about a year ago today, I was about a mile away from the spot that I'm standing in right now. We couldn't get any closer than that for fear of the fertilizer plant exploding. So we stayed as far away as we could. Now you can see behind me, the fertilizer plant is completely level. There is nothing behind me. It's crazy to think back on that moment a year ago because back then it was absolute chaos.
We were ready to evacuate.
1 year later,
Weaver was by far the biggest incident I've ever been on.
Winston-Salem firefighters reflect on one of the most impactful fires they've ever fought.
My fire tactics have changed drastically.
Every single one of them deserves an award.
Engine 9 was the first on scene of the Weaver fertilizer plant fire, unsure of the magnitude of the situation.
You know, we arrived on scene. Luckily, we had the cavalry coming behind us. That was great help.
The people we call the old heads, the ones that actually taught us as we were coming up, have always told us if that place ever catches on fire, go the opposite way because of the dangers that were there. It didn't sink in until about 15-20 minutes into the incident that we were at that building they told us to run from. Then it started getting pretty eerie around there, walking through the buildings as the flames were coming through. You couldn't hear nothing.
Through collapsing ceilings and walls, crews found the rail cars containing over 600 tons of very explosive ammonium nitrate.
And we seen the rail cars. Once we seen the rail cars, that's when everything changed.
It started making us really worry. And then when they pulled the plug, it was a sigh of relief for everybody that was out there.
Fire crews using this potentially tragic, very dangerous incident to grow as a department.
The men and women are stronger, smarter. It even made the brotherhood and sisterhood a lot tighter around here.
You never know if you're going to make it home or not. But, you know, the training, like I said, and all the things that I had behind me and the people that I had behind me helped me out, you know, greatly on that one.
Fire Chief Trey Mayo said that the cause of the fire is going to be listed as undetermined just because a lot of that evidence was lost in the fire. Live here in Winston-Salem, Amber Lake, WFMY News 2.
Amber, thank you. In December, the Winston-Salem City Council took steps to prevent a disaster like this from ever happening again. The city approved rules for new manufacturing facilities. They include several changes like putting up a fence, new permits, and getting a fire department approved hazardous material management plan. And then the city also says the Winston Weaver plant cannot rebuild or restart their operation at the site that caught fire.
Well, it's been one of those days, and it still will be through tonight. Scattered on and off rain will continue across our area. Take a look at the temperatures, though. It's really not cold. We're actually fairly mild. We're in the 50s right now. Latest radar showing just light sprinkles and scattered rain at the moment, but there's a lot more kind of loading up out to our west. You see it moving across Tennessee. All those colors showing wintry weather for them. It'll be all rain for us. We'll start the night with temperatures on the mild side, but it will cool off as the rain settles in by early Wednesday morning. We'll be right around 40 degrees, and then throughout the day, that's kind of where we hover. We're not going to warm up much for tomorrow. It will be overcast, damp, and cool for sure. Temperatures warmer in the morning than they are for the afternoon. Your rain chance tomorrow is highest in the morning. Can't rule out any drizzle midday, but overall it's mostly just cloudy and cool for your Wednesday. We'll talk about the Thursday rain and what the weekend is looking like coming up.
A third employee with the Greensboro Police Department is charged with sex crimes and fired this month. Now former crime analyst Matthew Hammonds is charged with 3 felonies of sexual exploitation of a minor. The SBI arrested him yesterday and Police Chief John Thompson fired him today. Hammonds is being held at the Guilford County Jail on a $50,000 bond. Chief Thompson said in a statement, whether allegations are made against an officer or a non-sworn employee, it is thoroughly investigated. The actions of this individual are not at all consistent with the expectations and standards for our employees. Earlier this month, 2 Greensboro police officers were arrested and fired. One faces several counts of sex crimes against a child. The other is accused of sexual battery and assaulting a woman.
Officials have released the names of additional first responders who were on the scene the night Tyree Nichols was brutally beaten. 5 former police officers are already charged with second-degree murder, and the legal action may not end there. 2 other officers have also been let go. The Memphis Fire Department announced it fired 2 paramedics and a lieutenant for not following policies and protocols. Video shows Nichols wasn't given medical attention for several crucial minutes. He ended up dying in the hospital 3 days later. Tonight, Nichols' family and attorneys plan to address the latest developments in a news conference before laying him to rest tomorrow.
A student now in custody accused of making a social media threat that canceled classes at all Elkin City schools. Students and staff were told to stay home while police investigated today. Classes resume tomorrow with more officers on hand as a precaution. WFMY News 2's Hanny Jeffries has more.
Safety first. That's the message Elkin City schools are sending following a district-wide threat that was sent over Snapchat. The Elkin town manager says police have taken a student into custody that they believe is responsible for the threat. Since that person is a juvenile, no other information is available. School leaders announced today's cancellations last night. The district says the threat indicated that someone would do harm at the elementary, middle, and high schools. Officials say the kid who sent the message is now in custody. Superintendent Dr. Myra Cox says someone told the school system about the threat through the Say Something Anonymous reporting app system, which allows students to submit concerns anonymously.
It worked last night, and I feel very confident that when students report something, it doesn't go unnoticed. All of them are received and investigated, and last night's just seemed to be a little more serious than some of the tips we may receive on a regular basis.
Susan Baker has 4 kids who attend Elkin City schools. She was saddened to find out about the closure and the reason behind it.
Sadly, we live in a world where it cannot be ignored or not taken seriously. And so I am thrilled that safety is our administration's primary concern.
The superintendent says students will not have to make up this day and that there will be an optional teacher work day for staff at the end of the school year. Classes will go on as regular tomorrow, and there will be extra security on campus for comfort.
As Hannah just mentioned, authorities first learned about the Elkin City School threat from a tip to the Say Something Anonymous reporting system. That system is part of the Sandy Hook Promise, a safety initiative that launched after the 2012 school shooting in Newtown, Connecticut. More than 23,000 schools nationwide use this app, including several triad school districts.
In Randolph County, a 94-year-old man is dead after a wrong-way crash. Asheboro police say it happened around 10 this morning on Highway 73. They say callers reported seeing a Nissan driving north in the southbound lanes. Officials say the 94-year-old driver then crashed into a Toyota. They say he died on the scene, but the other driver was taken to the hospital.
We now know more about the man who died in a shooting in Winston-Salem early Sunday morning. 29-year-old Daryl Rice was an amateur baseball player for the Winston-Salem Warthogs. He died on the scene on North Liberty Street. 2 others are in critical condition, including a teenager. The Warthogs posted this: "He was a phenomenal talent on the field and a great teammate in the dugout. Rice was always smiling and joking, and he pushed his teammates and mentored young players in our organization."
Less than a week after an 8-year-old girl was shot in her bed while asleep, a father is grieving the life she had before her injury. Akira Hinton's dad said she's still in the hospital recovering, and while she's fighting to get better, he's fighting for justice.
I'm not resting until this situation is rectified. I'm not resting to my daughter's justice. Assailant is brought to justice because she deserves that at least the most. My daughter is forever dead. My daughter is forever scarred. She will forever have this memory inside her head. She will never, ever be the same.
And Greensboro police have yet to make an arrest. Crime Stoppers is offering a $5,000 reward for information that leads to a suspect.
The Biden administration is investing nearly $3 billion to help electric cooperatives. The money will be used to expand the electric grid in rural areas and increase security. North Carolina is getting more than $200 million of it, and a large chunk will be staying right here in the Triad. Randolph Electric's portion is $32 million. Officials say the money will be used to connect its customers and to build and improve more than 400 miles of lines. This announcement comes after 2 energy substations were vandalized in North Carolina in the past 2 months.
Guilford Technical Community College is making sure there's a place for students pursuing a career in manufacturing. Today, the school announced a partnership with the North Carolina Federation of Advanced Manufacturing Education, or NC-FAME. Governor Roy Cooper was in attendance along with 4 manufacturing companies that will be sponsoring the program. Officials say NC-FAME gives students the chance to earn an associate degree while manufacturing skills. The program starts in the fall.
An important day in Greensboro history that impacted the nation. Tomorrow marks 63 years since the start of the historic sit-in movement. You'll recall 4 North Carolina A&T students took a stand by sitting down at the whites-only Woolworth's lunch counter on February 1st, 1960. The actions of the Greensboro 4 sparked a movement that grew to dozens of cities and prompted change all across the country. The anniversary will be honored tomorrow during a breakfast and a wreath-laying ceremony.
The tax season is in full swing, and you could be missing out on some money. After the break, we take a look at some tax credits that could earn you a bigger return.
The Carolina Panthers introducing Frank Reich today, the team's first quarterback. Now it's new head coach. His plans coming up later in sports.
Where is your W-2? January 31st is the deadline the IRS gives to employers to get all that information correct and then get those tax documents out to you. Some businesses still mail them to your home, but most have it online along with your pay stub. So if you have to print it out for yourself, go ahead and just do that. Now, your W-2 is one of the main documents you need to file your taxes. And just in case you missed it, taxes are due Tuesday, April the 18th this year. Yeah, there's such things because you might have some tax credits that you didn't even think about. For example, did you put in an Energy Star gas water heater in 2022? Certain models will get you a $300 tax credit. If you're thinking of upgrading some things this year in your home, you can get more tax credits next year. With funding from Congress, the Inflation Reduction Act means that homeowners can take advantage of up to $14,000 in rebates and tax credits for making energy efficient upgrades. How much you'll be able to get? It kind of depends on how much you earn, where you live, and what improvements you made. For instance, if you upgrade to a more eco-friendly stove, there's a rebate up to $840. Plus, you can receive another $500 to help cover the cost of converting from natural gas to propane or electric. The largest credits and rebates are available for heat pumps, a high-efficiency system that heats and cools your home in place of a furnace, and an air conditioner, as much as $8,000 off. Well, some home improvements are retroactive to January of 2022. Some don't start until, well, this January. We have a fact sheet from the IRS in the 2 Wants to Know section.
All right, Tim. Well, I was thinking about singing, the Rain, Rain, Go Away song, but I don't think that's going to work out this time.
Yeah, you still think about it though, right? We want that rain to go away, and it's only been here for a little bit so far. We still have 2 days to go. The good news, I'm standing out here without an umbrella. You don't need the rain gear all the time, but make sure you have it ready because these rounds will continue at times. Take a look at this. We had fog, really bad fog earlier this morning. That was as warmer, more humid air moved into our area. It got pretty warm today too. 54 for the high, 45 for the low. And notice right now the fog has started to return. That's Greensboro. That's High Point. We're going to see that fog kind of come and go throughout the nighttime hours as well. And don't forget, today's the last day of January. What a warm month it was for us. Almost all of these boxes are red, meaning above average days. We had 23 of them, only 8 that weren't above average so far this month. Temperatures across the Carolinas, we are the exception. Take a look at the rest of the country, certainly looking like feeling like winter from north to south, east to west, except for the southeast. We have ourselves a little bit of a bubble right now. There's winter mischief happening too, from Memphis to Little Rock to Dallas, Austin, Texas. All these areas are under winter weather alerts, and with good reason. Freezing rain is the main culprit that they're going to see. Icing problems to our west. For us, we're not going to have any of that. Instead, we get another round of rain that starts overnight tonight, lasts into tomorrow morning. Then we get a break for tomorrow afternoon. The final batch of rain is gearing up for Thursday. This looks to be the most significant one for us and the longest lasting. That would be from Thursday morning through Thursday afternoon. Then we finally get a break heading into Friday. All told, between the next couple of days, about 3/4 of an inch of rain can be expected for our area. So bottom line, about 2 more rounds of rain, one tonight and tomorrow morning. The next one would be Thursday. Then we get a break overall, and that's good news. Still watching Sunday morning, there's a very low chance that we could have a little bit of rainfall, and if it arrives early enough, that could be some light icing for our area. I'm not as concerned about it today as I was yesterday. We'll keep you posted though. It's just a low chance for now. Overall, we have a pretty quiet forecast. Friday and Saturday, sunshine and getting colder. You have to bundle up for Saturday.
Frank Reich being introduced today as the Carolina Panthers head coach, the 6th one in franchise history. The Panthers' first quarterback now prepares to coach the team. He'll be the Panthers' first offensive-minded coach, but Reich first brought up the defensive side and how important that is in winning. He says he's excited about the roster and to build upon it, while stressing the importance of working together with players and staff to create a championship team.
I have very strong convictions about what I think it takes to win, what I think it takes to build a roster, what I think that vision looks like, how we play as a team, what areas that we really have to be good at in situational football, and then how to be good at those areas. But it's a collective effort. I hope what came out there is that this is going to be about the team of coaches, the team of players that we build, working as an organization, that excellence is the standard, that consistency of excellence is what we've got to have.
General Manager Scott Fitterer telling us today Steve Wilks was very much in the running for this job. Fitterer says Reich separated himself from everyone, though, when he came in with a detailed plan. Duke hosting Wake Forest tonight. The Blue Devils will be without this guy, freshman forward Jariq Whitehead. Not a surprise to see he's not back yet. He's still dealing with a lower left leg sprain. Happened in last Monday's game against Virginia Tech. Wake Forest Duke set to tip off at 7 p.m. We'll take you to Cameron Indoor tonight at 11. We'll be right back.
All right, we have a little more weather nastiness for you over the next couple of days. Some nuisance rainfall, really. This is not so bad. It's just pesky. We have a couple scattered showers for tonight, for tomorrow morning. So the commute is soggy, but honestly, the afternoon, it's kind of just cloudy and cool. We're around 40 throughout the day tomorrow, and then going into your Thursday, that's Groundhog Day. Rain comes back. That's a soggy day there. And the weekend starts out finally with some sunshine. It'll just be cold.
There you go, the weekend.
Gotta bundle up. It'll be cold, but
yeah.
Always looking forward to the weekend. But happening right now, looking quite ominous outside. So be careful as you drive home. Yes. Don't forget WFMY Plus, our new streaming channel. We'll see you at 11.
See ya.
News 2 at 6 is brought to you by Mark Spain Real Estate. Go to markspain.com and get a guaranteed offer on your home today.